The Turbo Miata is back. But today we are going to be working on the Turbo Miata, adding some more cooling. Which I don't really need because I haven't taken it to the track yet, and I've never even gotten close to overheating the car. But that's not my fault. Every single autocross event this year has been canceled because of rain. Every single one has gotten rained out. Every single one. But that's alright because I signed up for a real track day, a road course, you know, a 3-mile, high-speed, awesome course for Monday. So Monday we're going to be taking it to the track, and we're going to be using this cooling stuff very well. But today we have 3 things to install. Number 1 is a turbo blanket for our turbo to have a good night sleep, rest, sleep. Number 2 is exhaust wrap. We all know what this is. And number 3 is a coolant reroute. What do all these things do? Let me explain. Let's start with the turbo blanket here. A lot of you guys probably have seen these before. What are the pros and cons of running a turbo blanket? Number 1, pro. It helps keep the engine bay really cool. Pretty much what this thing does is it goes over the hot side of the turbo and keeps all the heat inside the turbo. Because of that, it also helps protect some things in the engine bay. For instance, on the Miata, when you slap a turbo on there, it's right next to the brake system. So, as Adam LZ showed us, if you get your brakes too hot, they catch fire. Other pros, it also keeps the cold side of the turbo cool. Pretty much this thing just helps section off the cold side and the hot side of the turbo really well. So that means that your intake temps are a little bit cooler. You get a little bit more efficient engine, more power, better spool. These are all things that have been said. A con is that it can supposedly damage your turbo, because pretty much what it's doing is it's trapping all the heat inside your turbo, which isn't necessarily good for it. However, if you have a real turbo like me, it's water cooled and, you know, oil cooled, and it's a good turbo. It's not gonna poop out. It'll be just fine. Secondly, we have the exhaust wrap. You all know what this does. We're gonna be wrapping the downpipe, and that keeps the heat inside the exhaust system yet again. And number 3 is a coolant reroute. Now, if you've done anything with Miatas and turbos and stuff, you know what a coolant reroute is, but let me explain it, all right? So, the engine that comes in this car, it's a B series, B something or something, I don't know exactly which engine it is, but it wasn't originally designed for the Miata. It was originally designed on a front-wheel drive car. And in the front-wheel drive car, the engine was longitudinal, sideways, and when you put it into the rear-wheel drive car, it goes forward. In order to get it to fit well into the car, they had to move the coolant intake, or like where the coolant goes into the block. This engine was originally designed for the coolant to go into the rear of the engine and go out the front, but when they put it into this car, they made it go in the front and out the front. So what happens is when you add more power and more heat, the rear piston can overheat. You can blow a head gasket or something back there, and it's just bad things. So pretty much what the coolant reroute does is it reroutes the coolant to go yet again back into the back of the engine like it was originally designed. So pretty much what we're doing is we're just making it how Mazda originally designed it. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. All these things are pretty simple to install. So let's get started. I think we're gonna start with the easy stuff. Turbo blanket and heat wrap, and then we can get on to the harder stuff. Although we have to wait for the car to cool down, so that's fun. While we wait for Molly to cool down, I'm gonna go ahead and jack her up. That sounds, yeah, okay. I think it's about time to invest in a new jack. It's so nice working on a car that's like 100% rust free. No worries. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and throw on the turbo blanket. So, the only hard part about this is you have to get it underneath the wastegate thing, and you also have to get it in between the frame rail. That's looking pretty good. But that was definitely the easiest thing. Looks pretty good. Should, you know, help with some heat. Sad thing about this setup is that, so we've got the Flying Miata elbow and then the downpipe, and you can't really heat wrap the elbow. And that's the thing that's really close to all these wires and shit. So, you know, that's unfortunate, but we're still gonna wrap the downpipe. And that's gonna be underneath the car, so I won't be able to show you much. All I have to do is take that clamp off, and then I can pull the rest of the exhaust off. And there are a couple of bolts holding the downpipe to the elbow up there. So we'll do all that. You dare me to do it?
Do it. I dare you.
Okay. Alright, so the bottom portion of the downpipe is off. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it some more with some simple green. Get all the grease off, just because I mean, heat wrap isn't flammable, but if you get grease in it, then it can start a fire. So you want to be very careful. We're gonna clean it all off, heat wrap it, and then throw it back into the car. Exhaust wrap the downpipe is going back in. We're gonna go ahead and get started with the coolant reroute. Obviously, we have to drain the coolant. Look at that meat. That meat is so good. That didn't work very well. I hate fluids. So pretty much with this reroute, instead of the coolant going in the engine here, it will be going in the engine back there. All right, so the first thing we have to do is unplug that guy. Now this should pop off. Now we want to go ahead and clean out all the old gasket there. My neighbor is like jamming out hard. What the fuck? Dude, do you want me to turn off your water? Boy, I'm trying to make a video here. Just kind of tighten that down, but don't over tighten it. Now, in order to get behind the engine to remove the old coolant block-off plate, we're gonna have to clear up some space. I also really want to repaint my valve cover black because the red is just no. It's just no. No. Nope. Now we have to take out the cam angle sensor. Right there, the green sensor with the bolts down there. That is the rear coolant block-off plate. That is where coolant used to go into this motor when it was in a different car. Let's go ahead and get started. As I'm sure you understand, this is quite difficult to show. Just as difficult as it is to do. That took a while, but as you can see, the heater hose is now free. That thing is rusty. All right, this thing's ready to come out, so there it is. And we're free. There's nothing back there anymore. Where is it? Nothing, besides dirt. So the next part of this installation is possibly the most annoying and the most important part, and that is cleaning off the old gasket back there. If we don't do it right, then it's gonna leak, and then we have to take everything back apart and redo it. So you wanna do this right. Got some sandpaper, I've got some razor blades, and I've got a wire brush. This is gonna be a while. So I cleaned most of the gasket off. I think it's all good. The next step is to remove the stud that's back there, because the coolant reroute kit uses a bolt. It comes with a bolt, so you have to remove the stud. The problem with this video is that I can't really show you anything because it's so dark and tight back there, but I'll try. So you see that stud right there? The two bolts? That is the one that we are trying to remove. All right, so the stud back there is just not wanting to come out. I use PV Blaster, I use the 2-bolt method. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat it up with a propane torch. A little sketchy because there's a lot of stuff down there, but we'll try our best. We'll heat it up and then hopefully try to back it out.
Oh yeah, buddy. Alright, let's try that. I think actually it might have worked. I can't tell if I'm spinning the bolt. Oh, it worked!
That was kind of a pain, but the heat worked really well. In its place, we're putting this. The coolant is going to go in there from the front of the radiator. And then the temperature sensor goes there, and the heater hose goes right there. So we're going to kind of pre-assemble this, put the gasket on, put it in the car, and then get to work. Whilst trying to get the coolant temp sense out, it kind of got broken. New temperature sensor. There's a sensor in there. Cool, guess it's all on there. Now this goes into the car. Yeah, I'm just trying to tighten this thing on. So you can kind of see the coolant temp sensor down there, and originally it was on the top, now it's on the side. And because of that, the harness doesn't reach, so you have to extend the harness a couple inches, so time to do some wiring, boys. There we go, extend it. All right, so now we're pretty much starting to assemble the tube that will bring the coolant from the radiator to the back of the engine. You get this really, really long hose. And the problem is that it kinks really easy, like that. So in order to stop that, you put this giant spring inside of it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pretty much put a spring inside of this hose. There's a snake in my car. Alright, so yeah, now the next thing to do is put everything back together, put the cam angle sensor in there, with the wires and the coil pack back on there, and then start her up and see if anything leaks. If anything leaks, then it sucks, we have to take it all back apart, but I don't know, we'll see. We're also gonna have to time it again, ignition timing, so. Now it is time to fill it with coolant. We're gonna go ahead, start the car, make sure the ignition timing's all good, check for any leaks, bleed the coolant, and then we're done. So the ignition timing was all set. We're gonna let it warm up, bleed the coolant, and see if there are any leaks. Nothing dripping yet. Coolant tip is working, so that's good. The turbo blanket's gonna start to smell because it's the first warm up, so it's kind of burning off all the chemicals, and that's okay. All right, so no coolant leaks. It spilled a little bit, but there's no leaks.
Oh boy, he's down.
All right, so the car's all put back together. I'm pretty sure everything is all good. We're gonna go take it on a quick test drive. Make sure everything is good, make sure the coolant temps look good, make sure the ignition looks good, or the timing. And then when we come back, check for leaks again. And if there's no leaks, it's all good. I just completely ruined my pants yet again. Here, Mr. Gingium, he just keeps ruining his pants. Alright, so everything went well. The car didn't overheat. Coolant looks good. We floored it a couple times. Power fuel's all right. Turbo blanket is all good. The intake temps were a lot better. I noticed that. The car was idling better because it wasn't getting heat soaked. The turbo blanket, I think, was the part of the reason of that. Yeah, no, it's awesome. I don't think anything's leaking. No.
no drip, so.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this mess. We're done. I feel disgusting. My clothes are ruined. That entire process took 2 days, but we're done. The car is now never gonna overheat, hopefully, although who knows. Track day Monday, we'll find out. Everything went together smoothly. So yeah, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Huge thanks to Pasha for helping me get those 6 cinematic shots. I'll have a link in the description to his channel. I also need to give a huge thanks to PTP Turbo Blankets for sending out the turbo blanket and the exhaust wrap. So if you guys need some turbo blankets or exhaust wrap for cheap and really good quality, just go to ptpturboblankets.com or whatever it is. I'll have a link in the description below as well. I can't talk right now, God. Filming in this like little new studio is just so awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it too. Thank you guys, that's gonna be it. If you guys are new, please consider subscribing, hit the thumbs up, the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, boys.